Hello, I'm Simon Madden. Welcome to the Australian Football Foundation Ruck Skills video. Some people think that ruck work consists of two players running at each other to contest the ball. If you think that football is made up of just 50-50 situations, well and fine. But those of us who have played a lot of football, and most of that in the ruck, realise there is much more to ruck work than that. There are actual skills, plans and tactics that can be put into operation to give you and your team a better chance of getting first use of the ball. This video has been developed to give beginning and established ruckmen and their coaches insights into ruck play that will make them better players, better contributors and ultimately better team members. A good big man is as important in today's game as in any other era of Australian rules football. There are many areas where a big man can exert his influence on the game, and there are many expectations of his ability. Of course, he should possess high-level skills in marking, kicking and handball, but also he should have other equally important skills. He should possess the mobility and decision-making powers to position himself correctly around the ground and in close contests. He should be a leader, a team man, and create a presence in a game through strength and controlled aggression, with shepherding, bumping, tackling, and correct use of his big frame. He should know when to tap on, knock on, or punch instead of mark. He should be able to kick goals if placed on or moved to the forward line. And as we want to show you in this presentation, he should be able to exert his influence on the game through his ruck work. Here you see Corey McKernan up against Barry Stanfield.
The idea of using your body in a centre bounce situation is to firstly protect yourself with your knee and your hand, and then once you've got a free tap, to hit the ball wherever you like. In this situation, he's used his knee and his hand.
Have a look again. He has his right knee up, right hand out for balance and protection, an early leap, and just a short, soft tap to a rover waiting in a prime position, in this case backwards, who quickly gets the ball onto his boot, and the ball's out of the centre.
Now we have the same thing from the other angle against John Barnes of Geelong.
Notice that Corey McKernan again leaps with his right knee up, right hand out for balance, an early leap, gets the ride, left hand free, taps it short and to a waiting player. In this instance very well smothered, but they did have first use of the ball. Right knee, right hand up, early leap, balance, and then a short tap to the waiting player. Excellent example of centre bounce ruck work. And just to show that it's not a new technique, here's an older example of the same type of ruck work. This time with the ball going forward. An early leap, right knee up, right hand out for balance protection, body contact, and in this case the ball going forward to a free player outside the inner circle.
Yeah, once again the keys are the early leap to keep your opponent away from the ball, and once you've got the free tap to hit it to your team's advantage. That is a sensational example, Simon.
I'm glad you said that. The first drill we'll be looking at is centre bounce with the ruck bag. We use the ruck bag for safety and to simulate the opponent. We're pleased to have Corey McKernan, the 1996 Premiership Ruckman, to help us with these drills. We've seen the techniques in the games. Now here are some training techniques to practice. Corey McKernan, running, leaping early, getting his right knee up, right hand out for balance, and even without the ball, just practicing that technique.
Ideally, ruckman should be able to jump off both legs and tap with both hands. So, once again, this time he's jumping off his right leg, putting his left knee out, left hand on the bag, and practicing tapping with his right hand.
The next step is to introduce the ball into the skill. Notice how Corey leaps off his left leg, using his right knee into the bag and high, right hand for balance, and just pushing the ball forward to the moving rover. From an overhead angle, we see the contact made and the drop of the ball.
Once again, jumping off the left leg, driving with the right knee, right hand on top of the bag, and just pushing the ball off its line to the moving rover. Here we have the training drill from a different angle, using a different tap. Once again, jumping off the left leg, driving with the right knee high, right hand out for protection, and he pulls the ball across his body with his left hand.
A smaller ruck bag can be used to simulate the movement of the opposition. Again, we see the technique.
Once again, Corey jumping off his left leg, putting his right knee out, his right hand out, and with good extension of his left arm, pushes the ball away from his body to the moving rover.
Here we see the movement of the bag to simulate more match conditions.
Young Patrick Steinford moves in with the bag under the contest. Corey jumping in, right knee into the bag, right hand on top, hooking the ball across his body. These players use their height, their spring, their timing and full arm extension to win the tap to the advantage of their side. Here we see Matthew Capuano against Spider Burton of the Dockers.
You see both of them just trying to use their leap to get the height, full arm right up high and just hitting the ball forward. There is body contact there, but it's not controlled as in the first contests.
And you'll see that the ball has bounced back towards him, so he's taken the advantage of a free hit and belted it long to centre half forward.
You'll notice both ruckmen are using the hand on the same side of their body as their leading knee to try and get maximum height. Here is a good example of this technique. Matthew Clark from Brisbane leaping high with leading knee and hand, tapping the ball to a fast running player.
You'll notice it's just a very slight turn of the wrist to push the ball offline, and Chris Scott's got enough momentum to break the tackle of the halfback flanker running in off the line.
And you'll notice from this rug contest, they're going to have the ball on their forward line because of the fast running player.
Once again, the tapping hand on the same side of the body as the leading knee, full arm extension, turning of the wrist, pushing the ball down to the running player. An excellent example.
Here's Damien Monkhurst showing the same type of technique out of the MCG, forward to a running player and almost a shot at goal because of that great ruck work.
Once again, it's a straight leap, good arm extension, the leading knee and hand on the same side of the body, and it's a push over the inner circle to a running player.
I'll look at the technique again. Leading knee, tapping hand on the same side of the body, full extension, and in this case, a forward hit to a fast moving player. Excellent play. Another example of this style, Matthew Clark leaping high, bringing the ball inside this time. Watch, high knee lift, tapping hand same side of the body, short turn of the wrist, dropping the ball short as well, the player running onto the ball.
Once again, the timing of the leap being imperative, knee out, arm straight, just pulling the ball across his body to the waiting arms of Adrian Fletcher, who, although he does drop the original tap, gathers the ball and drives it into the forward line.
Here we have a drill to develop the coordination of leaping and tapping. The rover moving backwards throws the ball to the ruckman, who leaps and taps, and as the rover moves back again, the skill is repeated as they move down the ground. The ruckman is able to practice leaping off either leg and also palming with either hand. Here you see Pittman against Barnes. Great play from Pittman to put the ball back to his rover, who scores a goal. Watch as both players try and position their bodies to the front, and John Barnes actually overcommits, where Pittman really is able to stand his ground, then leap, and with a short tap, hit Rashudo, who's able to run towards goal and create a score from a 50-50 boundary line situation. It's excellent play.
Fantastic play. I think the key here is that Pittman does judge the ball a lot better than what Barnes does. Barnes overcommits to the contest. Rashudo unmarked, facing the goals as a prime target. Pittman just pushes the ball back off the line. Rashudo turns onto his left, and players of that skill will kick a goal just about every time.
Here's the great John Nichols making a scoring opportunity from the boundary line with a long tap to the dangerous position right in front of the goals.
Here we see John Nichols take the front position, time his run to perfection, leap high and hook the ball back into the scoring corridor, where Adrian Gallagher gathers the ball and has an easy shot on goal.
Most important here is how Nichols gets front position with a very strong leap and a very strong palm, not a punch, to the most dangerous position in front of goal. A classic example from the great Polly Farmer, who although caught behind, has better judgment, higher leap, and hits the ball across his body to the forward moving Goggin.
You'll see Mike Green here overcommits to the contest, while Polly Farmer has better judgment, and he times his leap perfectly to push the ball across his body with his left hand to the running Goggin.
Notice how Goggin is running to position before he's even looked at Farmer, and then turns to watch the ball is tapped. So obviously great communication between the ruckman and rover, or even a set play.
Another example from John Nichols, where he hooks the ball across to Jezelenko, who runs in and kicks an easy goal.
Watch how Nichols, even though caught behind, has better judgment. With a very high leap, is able to put the ball across his body to the moving Jezelenko, who finishes it off with a goal. In the following drills, you'll be able to see the variation in technique used for the boundary line situations. From the match conditions, we go to the training conditions for boundary throw-ins. Here, Corey McKernan makes position with his body, doesn't overcommit, bridges with his legs, uses the whole right-hand side of his body to keep his opponent away, then leaps, gently tapping the ball to his waiting rover.
Another variation of the same technique, Corey McKernan holding out Pat Steinfort with his legs and his backside and just pushing the ball down to the waiting rover.
The ruckman has to be able to tap the ball in all directions from the boundary contest, forward, to the side and to the back. Here you'll see how the skills used previously are applicable in these situations as well.
Here we see Peter Everett using the opportunity to jump over Simon Crawshay and tap the ball long into space, where Nathan Burke, the designated rover, runs onto an easy ball.
Again, we see the high knee lift, the full extension of the arm, very strong tap here, not punch, so he can control the ball to the running rover, Nathan Burke. Here we see Wind and Clark contesting on the wing half forward area, both using the same technique, but Wind gets better front position and is able to make full use of his ruck skills. Notice how Clark has to go right around him, and Wind makes good position, then high knee lift, full arm extension, strong tap to a running player who's clear, and the ball is heading their way.
Notice how that Scott Wind has taken front position and Matthew Clark doesn't get anywhere near the ball. He gets a free tap at it and hits it long to his running rover in Brad Johnson.
Now we've seen all the drills for body work and for leaping. Now we'd like to go through a few drills that'll be great at home or at training to use for your touch and to get your palming right up to scratch.
Here's an example of a good tapping drill where the ruckman uses both hands hitting to all angles. You see the small rover throw the ball to the ruckman and he taps it to the second guy who, after he's thrown it back, moves to another part of the circle. The ruckman uses one hand and works the rover around the circle and uses his other hand on the way back. It's a very good drill for practicing tapping to all angles.
Here is a drill for ruckmen to practice their palming. The three ruckmen tap the ball around the group from all angles, trying to keep it under control. Fingers are spread, and this assists you in controlling the ball. Even with two players, ruck skills can be practiced. One player throws the ball, ruckman taps it, and he moves to another position. I'm sure you've gained much from this video and the accompanying manual. For any further information, please contact the Australian Football Foundation. And good luck in the ruck.